Hello everybody, I'm back. My voice is back. So, recording something for the store. It is the first full asset pack of the year. And it is the first material pack I ever packaged for the store. So, I'm making this video not just because, I like making presentations for all my asset packs now, but because due to gallery limitations on Fab, I cannot show all the images I have. So, you can only have up to 24 images on the gallery. Would be nice to have more. Fab, please. I prefer having more gallery images than advanced metrics because, let's be honest, what are you going to do with metrics? I can understand like a big brand having metrics, but honestly, indie creators, I don't think they really need that. It'd be nice, but I feel like most people won't know what to do with any of that. Anyway, to the topic of the day, like I said, it is the first material pack we make for the store. So, let's take a look at these materials. All of these were made in Substance Designer, and their variations were made in Unreal Engine using my customizable material system. This is a new version of the material system. Sort of slimmed, dumbed down for this pack because they don't have the RGB mask I usually work with. So it's just the textures, right? It's just base color and all the PBR maps, normal maps, ambient occlusion. Height maps are included in this package, but I do not use them in the materials. But they are included if you ever do some vert painting. That'll be very useful to use the height maps. So you have the options. And there are some materials here like the snow, dirt, grime, all that type of stuff that's pretty useful for vert painting. So let's take a look at these. So up here up front, we have the asphalt textures. These are photo sample textures. I took some photos of the roads that I've been on, did some references, got the one that I like the most, and I turned it into a material in Substance Designer. And have included two versions of it in this pack. So there is the asphalt regular and the darkened one that I made using the material instance right here. So as you can see, I use the darkened feature here. And then next up there is the bone texture. I made this a few years ago. And essentially this is like for bones, fossils, stuff like that. So I made a few versions. I thought this kind of looks like a Cheeto Puff. But I was trying to make like a fossilized bone, like it's like stone-like. But I'm sure if you're creative enough, you could use it as a Cheeto Puff. This is like a dirty one. Some angled bricks. These are pretty old. I made these a few years, like, not a few years ago. It's been almost a decade now. Wow. I made these back in Substance 2017, 2018. It's pretty old. So, but I did re-export these ones because I had the files for them. And I had retouched them a bit to put them on Fab. And now they also come with different variants as well. Same with the cement, which is also pretty old. So now you got like a wet cement here, like a painted cement. There's just a lot of stuff you can do to iterate and give variations to these materials. Right? Like even the ceramic tiles. I really like these ones still. This one I made recently. I made this one from scratch based on the walls of a hotel I stayed at recently. And I decided to make them. Circle pattern wallpaper. Now, this wallpaper is also the base for the hearts wallpaper that's over here. So, yeah. I had made that wallpaper around Valentine's Day, so then I was like, oh well, it's Valentine's Day, so why don't I make like, like if it was like a romantic hotel or something, like some one of those like Vegas hotels, right? Never been to Vegas. Uh, Also this is another photo sample texture. What's it called again? Yeah, it's crystallized iron. Right, I got confused because there's another one that's photo sampled that's rough specularite, right? And with the crystallized iron, I made a few different metals with it. I also made like a jade stone because it kind of looked like jade stone a bit. So I made a version that kind of looks like jade stone. I say it in the description of the fab listing that using the material instance is like virtual alchemy. You can just like transmogrify the properties of the textures into something else. I think that's something that's pretty common to do in games, to use the same texture to create something new, something different. This one's pretty old too. I made this one in 2019, I believe. And it is a crystal ore, right? So it's just like a packed crystal. You can tune the emission as well. So as you can see, there's different intensities on each one. You'll want to tune intensity depending on what color you pick, because that's just how the math goes when it comes to PBR and emission. This is another set of photo samples. This is the some bricks that I saw while on vacation in January. That they had a bit of snow. I went in, tweaked it a bit in Substance Designer, and now it's here in Unreal. Really like how this turned out. Really happy with how it looks. And here is the sand. As you can see, you got some different sand. You got black sand. Like, I call this one Io because it made me think of like one of those moons. Martian sand, and since the waves kind of looked like clay to me, I made a smoother version with a darker color. And this is a clay material, so just an example of what you can do with my material system. So let's slow down the camera because we don't gotta move this fast. And this is the rough specularite I mentioned. Yeah, it's the rough specularite. I made some variations. This one kind of looks like an obsidian. Kind of has like that fractaling effect. This is another photo sample of bricks. I take a lot of photos of bricks. I don't know why. But yeah, you can also customize these. These are plastic textures. I usually use these for the background of my fab thumbnails. Yeah, I use these when I'm taking photos of my asset packs. They're usually like the background that gives it a little bit of color, right? I like the texture, how it kind of ripples like that with the lighting. And this is a meteorite rock photo sample as well. I think it reads a lot better on the spheres than it does on the cubes, but I think it looks nice. It's pretty metallic when you see it in person. We already talked about the hearts wallpaper, some grime, some dirt, some little foamy type of buildup based on this material, the grime. So you have a few variations of that one. Grass that you can turn into like moss or like another form of the grime. This kind of looks like that material that they use for tracks. Like a running track, kind of looks like that. And the ore, this is the stone crystal ore, the glowing ore. It's based off the other one of that ore over there we saw earlier. This is a different version I made in Substance Designer. And using the emission stuff, you can get some pretty interesting variations of them if you mix and match the colors a bit and play around with the intensity. These ones are newer, the shingles. They're kind of stone type of shingles, very stylized. Didn't make that many variations of this one because but you can make these pretty fast. I'm gonna have a time-lapse section of this video where you can see how customization usually goes. So you can see here, this is like a rug, another photo sample. Took a photo of some rugs that was around and made variations of that. That one looks comfy. And these are all the same material. This set of metal are using all the same textures, because if you look at the material instance, there is a normal depth channel, and you can adjust this to give your material a completely different look. Honestly, I think it's one of the most valuable parts of this material, because these do not look the same at all. I really love making metal. And this is another photo sample of snow. I was in the cold of DC recently, and it was very, very cold. And I noticed right by the roads, I never thought about it, but right by the roads, the snow, it gets all dark and gray and black. So I made a black version of that, a darker version of it. It also has a bit more of a mission intensity, because it was kind of like breaking apart around there. So it's like there's a bit of a tearaway to the ice. And these are some wooden planks. I made some shiny ones to make like a linoleum type of feel. Yeah, these are nice too. Different region types of things. So, you know, maybe you're making a crafting survival type of game, and maybe they harvest material in other ways, so in other regions. And these are also the same textures. As you can see, you can get a completely different feeling just by playing with the normal map intensity. You can kind of get this from the positive value, and this from the negative values of the normal depth. You can invert the normals just like that with that normal depth channel. And as you can see, there's like a lacquered wood, tree bark type of thing. So I really like these ones. I did not think I'd be able to get a result like that from these textures. And this is the final set, the wall planks. So there is a total of 134 textures, materials, 134 materials, and there are 161 textures. So you can do whatever you want with all that, except put it in AI. No AI. No AI was used in the making of this asset pack, or any of my packs, or this video. So, yeah. The lowest resolution that textures come in are 1024, and the highest resolution is 4096. Not all textures are available at the highest resolution. That is important to note. You can, however, lower the resolution of the higher resolution textures by entering the asset window, and you can search for maximum texture size, and you can input your preferred size. Remember, power of 2s, 512s, 1024, 2048, 4096, and you'll be good. So that's about it from me. Thank you. We'll be back soon enough. I got a job starting soon, so we'll see what we do. All right? Thanks, and goodbye. Good evening. Good morning. And good afternoon, wherever you are. Peace.